Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mai, and today's video is this adorable little dark academia cottage that I have built in the world of Henford-on-Bagley. I just kind of woke up one morning and I had this super clear image of a cottage next to a pond, and I knew I had to build it, and I was so excited to do it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's like exactly the way that I imagined it in my head, and honestly it's even better than what I imagined in my head. So I'd love to hear what you guys think, because this is probably one of my favorite builds I've made in a long time. Although I don't know, I probably say that a little bit too often, but we're just working on the pond here. I usually don't include terrain manipulation, but this one actually came together pretty easily, pretty quickly too. I think I just had a really clear idea about what I wanted, and the same really goes for the exterior and the roofing especially. I just really knew what I wanted here, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I wouldn't say that it's unique, but it's definitely quite different and a change of pace from what I've done recently, and I'm just I don't know, it's just so cute. And obviously using a lot of really dark colors. This is dark academia after all. And another element that I knew that I needed to add was the eaves from the For Rent expansion pack that have this kind of lacy texture. I don't know if you guys can really tell from the video, but yeah, it just has a really kind of doily edge. I know that there's a word for it, but I don't really remember what it is, but it's really cute, and it almost makes it look like a gingerbread house or a doll house. I'd love to know if you guys agree with that. That's just kind of the image that comes to my head. But yeah, as you can see, the exterior came together so easily, so quickly. I was actually so proud of myself for that, because that's not always the case. And yeah, I'm just trying to create a little path here, but for some reason my hand was not really cooperating and it was coming out really crooked. But thankfully in the end I did figure it out, and we are moving on to some windows. I don't do all the windows just yet. I do kind of mostly on the facade and just on the left side next to the pond, and then once I figure out the floor plan I end up adding the rest of the windows. But yeah, really cute, using a lot of cottage living, used quite a bit from Get Together as well. It has that Tudor style, which is great for cottages, for these windows as well. I think they're so cool. And I think I also used a Strangerville window just in the roof as well. But yeah, the floor plan, I think I also had a fairly clear idea. I think not as clear as the exterior, but I think I did know vaguely what I wanted, and I think the inside just kind of already had these perfect little nooks for each thing, so it was also easy because of that. And also just placing some bookshelves just as a placeholder, and figuring out the flooring and wallpaper was the only thing I think that was the most difficult thing. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for this darker wood, or if I wanted to go for the slightly lighter, more orangey wood. And I do end up choosing the darker wood for the flooring, and then kind of brightening it up with the lighter wood for the wallpapers. And I really love the tile that I used in the kitchen. It is from the For Rent expansion pack, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know, it was just it was really perfect, and it kind of inspired me for the next build that I want to make. So stay tuned for that. I don't really know how to explain it without giving anything away, but let's just say the coloring, the style, it inspired something a little bit retro. But yeah, over here in the main space I decided to go with this wallpaper from Cottage Living, and then I used this base game just kind of paneling for this top floor, which is going to be the bedroom. And later on I create another little office space downstairs, and I also use the paneling because I really liked it, and I wanted to use it in more spaces, but it did feel a little bit too overpowering, so I had to refrain. Over here I'm trying to figure out the windows. Briefly I remove these ones. Yeah, you can see I'm going to remove these ones and change it for these Strangerville windows, but I later on change it back. I don't know why, I just really liked the idea of those stone windows overlooking the pond. There was something about it that was screaming at me, And over here, trying to figure out some more of these little windows, especially like these really like smaller, awkward spaces were a little bit hard to find a window that fit. I really loved this window from Cottage Living, but it didn't have the right swatch, which was kind of disappointing. So I did end up going with this other one from Cottage Living instead, which is a little bit chunkier, so it was harder to kind of like place nicely, but it's fine in the end. And of course, I had to place some window boxes around, just use the ones from Cottage Living because they actually had swatches that match. And I also add a chimney, which I don't know why chimneys are so difficult to place sometimes, but it like totally completes the facade. I'm really, really in love with how that turned out. And yeah, just trying to figure out more windows. Here on the side, I end up going with a bay window, which is perfect. And I actually end up cluttering like the little ledge from the bay window, which is very difficult to do, but I'm really glad that I actually took the time to do that. And I end up just placing like the same window that I put at the front of this little nook, but just like the opposite placement of the shutter. I wish we had those style shutters that are like separate from the windows so you could place them like more freely, but yeah, it's fine. I made it work. And over here, I really wanted to add some other space, but mostly I just wanted to add it because of the outside. I felt like this back end, just looks a little bit bland, and I wanted to add a little extra, but I don't know, it just wasn't really working for the interior, so I had to ditch that idea. Instead, I just placed some more of these gorgeous windows and some extra window boxes because you can never have too many. And we are starting off with the kitchen now. I just love starting off with the kitchen. I feel like it really tells you a lot about the household. I probably say that in all of my builds, but it's true. I feel like the kitchen is the heart of the home and you really got to start it off there. So we are using like the counters from Cottage Living. I think the fridge is also from Cottage Living. I can talk. And the stove is actually just base game, but it just felt really cute and very like antique-y. And yeah, just placing some cabinets. Because I placed the windows on a half tile, I had to like move them around because it was kind of, I don't know, it glitches into the counters and stuff. I feel like I only have a problem with that when it comes to kitchens, but yeah, I'm trying to place this cabinet to kind of make those items look like they're sitting directly on top of the fridge, but it wasn't really looking cute, so I decided to X that idea. And yeah, just adding curtains, of course, from Cottage Living as well. I love the color scheme in here. I don't know, brown, I don't really use it often in my own life because I feel like it's a little bit dark, but for this, I really, really love it. And this little like breakfast nook or like just dining area is so, so cute. You're overlooking the pond with those big windows and all that light coming in. It's just like, I don't know, it's such a sweet space, and I love that table from the For Rent expansion, and I obviously got to use those chairs from Paranormal Stuff, which I absolutely love. I always try to find an excuse to use them, and they were gorgeous in that swatch that I don't think I've ever used it before. But yeah, opposite the like main cooking area, I really wanted to add some more counter space, some more kind of like storage space because you don't really have a lot. And yeah, the tea machine, and I added some books to really like play up the dark academia thing. And this table, you can like totally imagine that in real life, you could cook on that table or like prep stuff. But yeah, I end up cluttering it a lot. And in this corner, I really wanted to add like a bookshelf. The only one that really fit in with the vibe was that bookshelf from the like Realm of Magic pack. But it just like wasn't fitting. So I end up using this shelf from the Crystal Creation stuff pack, and it's so perfect and so nice. I don't know if I used too much more from the Crystal Creations pack. I probably should have because the vibe works really nice. But yeah, I really, really love that shelf. But yeah, here's where I kind of changed the windows back. I do really like the way that those Strangerville windows looked there, but I don't know, I really needed these windows to be these ones from Get Together, and I also really liked these windows from For Rent on the side, but they just didn't have the right swatch. So I ended up keeping these ones from Cottage Living instead, which I'm not like super content with, but you know what, they work just fine. And we are starting off now with the more general living space, and it was a little bit awkward, and I wasn't really sure like which area I wanted to be the living space, if I wanted to add a dining room. So I like slowly figure out, I actually like cut out the just like the pause in the game where I was just kind of buffering staring at this. But yeah, I decided to create an office space in that little like cutout nook thing, and I really wanted to use the bookshelves from Crystal Creations, but they didn't really have the right swatch, which was disappointing. But yeah, I just make this area a little office space. I imagine that the person that lives here is maybe a writer, probably. I think they're like a very like scatterbrained kind of writer person, and yeah, they have a lot of books, and they just kind of like, I don't know what the vibe is. I think the more that we see like the furnishing and stuff, we'll understand the vibe more. But yeah, I just like imagine very scatterbrain kind of writer. And I thought about putting a TV in here, but I end up not placing a TV anywhere, and instead I place this gorgeous frame above the fireplace. And I switched out those get-together bookshelves for these ones from Discovery University, and they're way better. I love them so much. I think I might use them. Maybe I use them a little bit too much. I'd love to have one in real life because they're so lovely, and like I love how decorative they are. There's just something about them that is like, I don't know, almost romantic. And that little nook ends up giving me such a hard time, like this kind of, because it's kind of just like a hallway area. I end up doing most of it, like, or I end up like furnishing it in video, and then I like change it completely afterwards. You'll see. But we're starting off like seriously furnishing the office space first. You can definitely tell how scatterbrained I am because of the way that I'm furnishing this. Usually for my videos, I do try to be more concise and like go in order of the rooms somehow. But for this one, you can definitely see my true colors come out, and I am just all over the place. But yeah, just cluttering up this desk. I love the typewriter. I love placing that typewriter so much. Oh yeah, and I use the desk from Crystal Creations, so I do use quite a bit from that pack. And I love it so much. And I also really love this bookcase from, I think it's just Base Game. But yeah, it's really cute. And I really like this. I'm like just talking about the things that I love about this room. That little like photo kind of booklet, I don't really know what to call it. It's like a picture frame, but it like opens like a book that I placed on the desk. I think it's so cute. I wish we had like more swatches or like different silhouettes, because I really love placing them around. They're just so perfect for like these kind of vintage builds. Yeah, I just wish that, I don't know, they were like, I don't know, there were just more variety. But yeah, I also place a lot, and I mean a lot, of just like dirty mugs around the house. Just like as clutter pieces, just like everywhere. I think every surface has like one mug pretty much, because I fully imagine that this person like makes themselves tea and they're like drinking it and they're reading, they're writing something, and they always just kind of like forget to clean their mug, or they just kind of set it down and then they just kind of keep walking. And I just thought that was kind of a cool personality trait to think of. I know my sister like constantly makes herself tea and then like forgets about it, and then it like gets cold. She doesn't like leave it around the house, but I don't know, it's just kind of, I feel like that's something that happens. You make yourself tea, ends up somewhere that it's just not supposed to be. And I really love this little reading nook that I placed next to the like back door, with that chair from, I think it's from Cats and Dogs, and I don't think I've ever used that swatch before, so I love when I get to use swatches that I never use, because it's almost like, I don't know, I'm getting more out of my money. I don't know, this is just a silly thought, but here's when I'm like trying to place the items for the like bay window, and it was really hard to do because the items just kind of kept glitching out, because they're like not inside but they're not outside. It's like, I don't know, the game was just kind of freaking out at me, and I was freaking out at the game because this was really frustrating. And I actually do spend quite a bit of time on this like while filming, and then I add just a little bit extra clutter off camera. I probably could have added most of the clutter off camera so that I can talk, so that you guys don't have to suffer through this with me. But you know what, this is a team effort. I definitely felt I don't know, I felt like I wasn't alone in this, and I also thought it was like you know, in case you guys have never tried this and want to try it, that you guys can see how horrible it is, and it might discourage you from trying it. But anyways, it's still, I really am happy with the result. So it was worth it. I don't know if I'm going to do it again in the near future because it was also very, very exhausting and frustrating. But yeah, I didn't go too heavy on the plants, I think, in this house. I could have gone heavier. There's another kind of dark academia cottage that I've made before that had way more plants. And you can probably find it on my channel. I think it's called like Dark Aca Glam or something. If you scroll down at some point, you'll find it. And yeah, because it was Dark Academia and it was like old glam as well. But anyways, that one had a lot, and I mean a lot of plants. But for this one, I didn't really feel like it was a personality trait that the sim had. But if you're looking for that vibe, you should definitely check that out. It's probably also like one of my favorites. Like I said, every cottage that I make, I'm obsessed with because I'm a cottage girly. But yeah, just adding a lot of like surfaces around, just more places where I can add books and some flowers. I think that's probably what this person likes. They like flowers. And I also add this like magazine holder that I don't remember if it's like from Cats and Dogs or Parenthood or something like that, something from like the earlier packs. But yeah, I thought that was also quite perfect. And I really love this bust that I add on that back like table thing. Super, I don't know, it was just like super cool and like artsy and fun. And there's this peacock from, I think it's from like the Maximalist pack, Decordo the Max or something, that I sized down and place as a decoration. I've never used it before, and I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool, and it had a plain swatch. I wish that there was a small version and it wasn't just like this massive thing that didn't really fit anywhere and you just had to size down. Because yeah, it was a little bit hard to place because of that. But just above the fireplace here, I'm adding like that like old radio from Horse Ranch, the weird peacock, and that little like trinket box, and a couple of urns, just kind of, I don't know, work on that vintage vibe. If you're ever trying to make something look old, just add a bunch of urns around to make it just a little bit creepy, and you know, mission accomplished. But over here in this corner, it ends up changing, I wouldn't say completely, but it does change a lot afterwards. In post-production, I end up removing this ottoman and I just end up placing an armchair because, I don't know, it just ended up looking way better. This was just a little bit difficult to fill in, and it was really hard to find a rug that fit in this space because like we do have like one kind of vintage looking round rug, but it doesn't have a lot of swatches that are actually like usable. I don't know, it's really weird. Like it needs more swatches. I don't know, it's just kind of funky. But oh yeah, and I end up putting a record player in there. It looks cute. But I end up just like adding a bunch of plants in this corner, just like more flowers. I don't know, it's just like easier to kind of fill that space in, kind of cascade it all. And this is where I was like, oh, maybe I should add some more flowers around just to kind of, I don't know, when I do need to add a lot of flowers in a spot, then it doesn't look as out of place. I think it just helps make it look a little bit more natural. But yeah, this is the rug that I'm talking about that is like a nice vintage rug, but it just doesn't have like nice swatches. And I really needed like either a round rug or a square rug. But I ended up going with this one from Modern Luxe because it had the right colors and it worked fine. I wouldn't say that it's perfect for this house, but it's okay. But yeah, just adding some more like filler items because there's a lot of kind of like awkward corners, and we are working on the entryway last for some reason. But I just placed this like armchair from Discover University, and I really like this kind of entryway. I think it's called a vanity table, but it's more just an entryway table from For Rent. I really like the swatch that it has, and it looks very like ornate and nice. Yeah, here next to the door, God, I don't know what I'm thinking right now. I was trying to like fit in the coat rack because I always place this coat rack, but I actually really like the way that this turns out. It ends up looking quite different. Here's where we're starting to like reach the final look, but yeah, totally different from what it looked like before, at least to me. But that little like end table is actually from the Crystal Creations pack. I ended up using a lot of Crystal Creations. I don't know why I didn't register that. I guess I just use like a lot of items from a lot of packs, so it doesn't like, I don't know, stick out. But we are starting off with the bedroom now, and I'm using a bed from Cottage Living, and for the end table, on one side I'm using one from Discover University. Ooh, I also found this clock, which I think is from like Cottage Living or something, and I placed this grandfather clock. I think I just forget that clocks exist because we don't really have them around anymore in real life. So I don't know, when you're playing The Sims, you just kind of forget about them, but they're so cute, and especially for these spaces, it just works so nice. But here I'm also placing a small clock on this end table, which isn't actually an end table. It's like a decoration item from like cats and dogs or something. That it's just like a pile of books and an old suitcase, and it's so perfect. And obviously had to use it just to make it a little bit mismatched and cool. And here on this end table, I'm using a lamp from the For Rent expansion pack, and that little like self-care tray, I think it's called, from the Everyday Clutter Kit. Or no, sorry, it's from Book Nook. Actually, you know what? I have no idea where it's from, but I use it everywhere and I love it. And over here, we end up using this dresser from the For Rent expansion pack. I tried using the Cottage Living one, but the mirror just like wasn't really working, which I'd say is a little bit disappointing, but I actually do really like that dresser from the For Rent pack. It's called like the White Lily dresser or something. Maybe not White Lily, maybe just Lily, but it's really cute, and I really like it. And here in this corner, we're just adding an armchair. I really liked this swatch of the armchair that has like the flowers and stuff. Since it didn't match the rug that I picked out, I tried to change the rug, but picking out a rug in The Sims is such a pain, at least for me. I'm so bad at it, so I end up just changing the chair and keeping that rug. And instead I use this one from Discover University, and I actually like it a lot better. Here in this corner, I use this couch from the Book Nook kit, and if you like kind of tuck it in, it looks like it's a bench that has chairs, or like it's kind of like an ottoman or something. And later in post-production, I put like shelves on top and fill it with like books and some plants and stuff, and it looks super cute. I've never actually done that before, and I'm really, really happy with it. So yeah, here in this hallway, it was a little bit awkward. I wanted to put a runner, but it didn't really fit. And I do place a vanity table, this one from Vintage Glamour, and I pair it with this chair from Horse Ranch. And I play tested, so your Sims can actually walk around it to get to the bed, which is good. As I was building it, I wasn't really sure if that was going to work, but thankfully it does, and I'm glad because it just like looks really nice. And I do place one full-length mirror just here at the end of the stairs, which I don't know about you, but would honestly be kind of creepy if you're like going up the stairs at night and you just like have a mirror in front of you. It would freak me out. Although it would also be good to help you check for any demons that are following you up the stairs. But yeah, I also place like that little kind of entryway table, hallway table at the end there to kind of fill that in. And the bathroom is really simple. I wasn't really expecting to I don't know, have such a long video. So I was like furnishing the bathroom thinking, oh, this is gonna be a short video, so it's fine to include it. But this actually ended up being like a 30-minute video, which I was not expecting at all. So I don't know, we're just gonna have the little bathroom as a treat. And honestly, it is very quick and very simple and very easy. So I don't think there's much of an issue there. But we are starting off with some of the landscaping. I do like leaving the bulk of the landscaping for the end, just in case there are any like structural changes that I have to make to the house. So yeah, this is kind of just like a little, I don't know, little post furnishing, I don't know, I want to say like a little kind of like mint at the end where it's a little bit easier. It like helps you digest the entire build and just kind of like decompress, and you're like, oh, I'm just placing some flowers around. And I always love adding a lot of terrain paint. I think it's pretty much like the shading that turns a 2-dimensional drawing into a 3-dimensional drawing. And yeah, this one just, I don't know, it really like makes your builds pop. And yeah, adding a lot of little like, I added some hydrangeas around, always add a lot of these like low-lying flowers you can see under the trees. It really helps it really helps give that overgrown look. And over here in the pond, adding a lot of rocks and just kind of also even placing like those little grass things, even more low-lying flowers, but those like grass kind of reeds or something. I just place them like in the middle of the pond and then like Control 9, Control 0 it up just to kind of stick out. And I used a lot of those like white flower bushes around as well. I actually don't use any of just like the regular bushes. I end up only using those around as the bushes, which I don't know, it's kind of cute. I've never actually done that before. I think it makes me want some more bushes like that are a little bit longer, so you don't have to like layer so many on top of each other. And here adding some like ferns around and just things that actually like match the world a little bit better, so that it feels a little bit more like it fits in. Here's where you can see I'm like layering all of them together, and this was like a little bit interesting. I wasn't like fully happy with like, I don't know, the weird bumps that it like creates because you're layering them, but honestly I think it's fine. I think it still looks really cute, and because the edge of this was kind of floating, I needed to fix the terrain like manipulation a little bit. Just adding some more rocks around, that also really helps kind of anchor your landscaping. Since I'm not like very good at landscaping, or at least I don't identify as somebody who's good at landscaping, having those little tricks like the like overgrown flowers and rocks and terrain paint are great ways to make it look like I know what I'm doing. I'm really happy with how that turned out, and of course having to add a little bit more of that shading because I added way more than I was expecting. Here just trying to fit in some more in that kind of just very open, bland space. Always easy to just like add a rock, add some terrain paint, and call it a day. And this is the point where I remember that I actually didn't furnish any of the like outdoor spaces, so I add just some outdoor lights. And here on this little porch, I actually just place this chair from Paranormal, which is the same like dining chair, and just add like a little tea set from Cottage Living, and it looks really cute. You can just imagine the person like reading out there and having some tea. And at this point, I'm like trying to think of like more cute things to add, and I remember this like, I don't know, this log that has a mushroom on top and kind of looks like a little fairy house. And I don't know, it was really cute, so I wanted to add it. And I also add some gnomes around, which isn't usually like my thing. I don't really like adding gnomes. I think they're kind of creepy, but I just felt like they really worked for this build. They just added a little bit of whimsy. And we are at the screenshots. Oh my god, I am so happy with how this turned out. Like, this is so cute. I need this in real life. I don't know, I'm so proud of this because I don't think that it's ever like, I don't think my builds have ever come out like this accurate from like what I imagine to like the actual result. And oh my god, you can see a little bit of the details of the eaves here. It's so cute. And here we have the entryway. You can see I added like a little gallery wall and just a little bit of extra clutter, a table under the clock and the umbrella rack. And this is like that little hallway that I end up like that I had changed a lot. I think it turned out way better. And here in the living room, I really just like added a little bit of clutter on the coffee table just to make it look a little bit like more lived in. And I think it's cute. And here in the office, you can see a tiny bit of extra clutter on the bay window there. And I also added an umbrella rack in here. And here we have our kitchen with all that extra clutter on the counters and that table. A lot of extra clutter on the counters. I just can't help myself when it comes to cluttering up a kitchen. And speaking of clutter, here in the bedroom, just added some clutter on the vanity, on the entryway table, added that lamp from Cats and Dogs that I absolutely love, and also added some paintings. There you can see the shelf above the bench where I added like books and plants. And I just love all of the little details that I got to add and how realistic it all looks. And here in the bathroom, kept it pretty simple actually. All I added was that towel rack from Base Game, because you need a towel. And here we're at our last few screenshots, little peek of the outside, but I'd love to know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this build as much as I did. Bye buds, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Comment and share with your friends. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.